Yes. The misuse of legal process, similar to false imprisonment and false arrest, but quite different legally, are what is known as malicious prosecution, and abuse of process. You have a right to freedom from the deliberate misuse of the law and the courts. Now, if you have been unjustly prosecuted for a crime because of someone's malicious accusations, you can sue. You have to prove that the case has been decided in your favor, and there was no real ground, absence of probable cause, for the proceeding, and that the person who started the proceeding was motivated by malice, or that his primary motive was not simply to bring you to justice. In the case of false imprisonment or false arrest, you are improperly or falsely detained. In the case of malicious prosecution, which we have just described, you are properly detained, but for improper reasons or motives. Yes. Now, this misuse of legal process, where you issued a dissolution of marriage, but you had no proof of service. Yeah. You had no jurisdiction of law because of the United Nations marriage certificate. Yeah. And you never gave me an actual dissolution of marriage, so I couldn't appeal the decision of the court to dissolve the marriage. Yeah. Now, my sons have been in the custody of my wife for the last 8 years. Yes. And you made her a teacher? Yeah. And then there was the false arrest for failure to appear for the two-count criminal complaint that was the allegation of cyberstalking and violating the restraint provisions. Ouch. And then there was the arrest of January 4th, where you said I was in Sequim, Washington when I wasn't. Yeah. And then there was the arrest that took place on I think it was May 18th or 19th. Let me see. You motioned the court for dissolution of marriage on May 24th of 2012. Yeah. You had me arrested on May 28th and I was arraigned on May 29th. Yes. And you renewed the protection order on May 31st of 2012. Yes. And you did it by minute order. Now, I've informed you of the misuse of legal process. Now, when you refuse to enforce the laws of myself as a father, you refuse to enforce the rights of my sons. Yes. And as far as I know, my son Zachary didn't graduate this week. That means you've intentionally obstructed him from applying to, yes, and quite possibly be admitted to, yes, what is known as the Armed Forces Academies. Right now! Now, I would say it's treasonous. Right now! Treason. To deprive any person of the right to graduate from any armed forces academy, yes, where they would be officers in the United States military at the time of graduation. Now, this oath of office that you deprived my son, Zachary, of being able to say, yes, because you would not recognize your abusive process, yes, I would say it's treason now, yes, instead of child abuse, neglect, and exploitation. Right now! Because you, as the Office of Supervision of Public Instruction, refused to acknowledge the right to graduate with the right age group. Yes. Now, my thought is, yes, he must be about 6'2", 6'3". Yes, he could have been applying to an actual United States Armed Forces. Now, for every stupid fuck that calls themselves a civil rights coordinators,